Chapter 1521, came knocking on her door. Everyone was little. Why was it that baby Zhu and Xiao Bao could stay at Auntie Chiao's house but he couldn't and had to be forcibly kidnapped back home by his father? That wasn't fair. In the face of his son's cries, Gao Yan heartlessly suppressed them. What a joke! He had already seen his son stick to Jiaonan for the entire day. His son didn't even bother to call him dad. If he continued to let his son stay in the Zai family, it wasn't certain who this son would belong to in the future. He couldn't possibly lose his son at the same time his wife's heart was stolen, right? Fang Fang was suddenly happy after understanding clearly Gao Yan's misgivings and looking at her son's pitiful and wronged look. What Gao Yan was worried about seemed to have come true. It was a pity that Gao Yan, this silly father, still hadn't realized this yet. He still wholeheartedly thought that his son's heart belonged to him and he could firmly guard it. Should she remind him? After thinking for a while, Fang Fang felt that a white lie was necessary at times. As such, she didn't remind him. I heard San Bao mention that Su Shennan came over to find you today. After that, you didn't seem too happy. Zai Sheng came back at night. As Zai Sheng progressed step by step, he eventually succeeded Zai Yaowai and became the next chief Zai. Zai Sheng naturally had more time at home as compared to when they first got married. San Bao is a bad child. Is she specially telling on me? Jiaonan casually splashed some water on her face, applied a layer of cream, and turned to look at Zai Sheng. She's about to become your little spy. Tell me honestly. How many benefits have you given to San Bao such that she would agree to watch over me? Zai Sheng still did what he did when they were newlyweds. He walked to Jiaonan and carried her to the bed with a princess hug. He kissed Jiaonan's red lips. If San Bao finds out that you're saying this of her, she would be very upset. She wasn't helping me watch over you and betraying you. She was concerned about you and afraid that something's troubling you. She can't be of help since she's little, so she asked me, the great and capable father, to help. At the same time Zai Sheng helped clarify the misunderstanding about San Bao. He didn't forget to be narcissistic. Being cared for by her husband and daughter at the same time, how would Jiaonan be unhappy? Senior Su's man is dishonest. He must have another woman outside. Zai Sheng frowned. He despised men who were irresponsible to their family. Do you want to help? Let's see. If Senior Su needs my help, I would definitely help. If she doesn't, I don't want to chip in either. We are all leading our own lives. What happens in the end depends on Senior Su's own decision. It was just that there was little common ground for understanding between persons of differing principles. She could give up Chen Jun back then. Now, if Senior Su chose to forgive in the end, she wouldn't blame her. She would only feel that they had some differences in mindset and their relationship might not be as good as before if they continued to interact. Jiaonan saw a lot of examples where the wife chose to forgive the husband for having an affair. Very often, these wives didn't manage to make their husbands change their minds because of their magnanimity. Men who had tasted cheating seemed to be addicted. 80% of them would have an affair again. After that, the couple would naturally fall into infinite pain and end up in a divorce after one party couldn't tolerate any longer. Such a process was too entangled and long. Jiaonan knew that she didn't have the patience to accompany Su Shennan to walk through such a difficult divorce. She couldn't do it. When she split up with Chen Jun, she had spent only 3 minutes. If she had spent so little time on herself, how would she spend so much time and effort on someone else? She was also someone with a family. Her triplets were going to junior high school this year as well. If you have an answer in your heart, don't think about it anymore. If you really can't sleep, let's do something that can be beneficial to our husband-wife relationship. Zai Sheng was asking this, but his hands, which were unbuttoning the buttons on Jiaonan's pajamas, weren't prepared to give Jiaonan a chance to refuse. Jiaonan secretly rolled her eyes. She didn't understand how Zai Sheng could change the topic to this. Should she compliment her man that he was really capable? Qiao Nan and Zai Sheng spent a fiery and passionate night. For everyone else, they had similarly rested well, except for a few. The children considered the May 17th long holidays to be days where they could indulge in fun and happiness. Even if the triplets were about to go to junior high school, Qiao Nan felt that there wasn't a need for them to be in a hurry for these 7 days. When it was time for them to relax, they should relax. As such, even though Qiao Nan wasn't free to accompany them, Zai Sheng, who was coincidentally free and at home, brought the triplets out to play for 3 days. It was also within these 3 days that Qiao Nan bumped into Ding Jiyi and Qiao Zijin, who came knocking on her door. Qiao Nan drove to the entrance of the quad and saw Ding Jiyi and Qiao Zijin, who were stopped outside the door. Qiao Nan's face darkened. She honked the horn and captured Ding Jiyi and Qiao Zijin's attention. Ding Jiyi, who was kicking up a fuss and didn't find her behavior to be rude and disgraceful, scolded when she heard the horn. Even if you're part of a cadre, you aren't any better compared to us, ordinary citizens. We talk about equality now and should look at everyone through the same lenses. Isn't it just a car? In Pingcheng, my son-in-law has a car as well. Ding Jiyi couldn't afford a small car. However, the Zhou family had one. Ding Jiyi had even sat in Zhou Zheng's car a couple of times before. Mother! Qiao Zijin's face darkened. At this time, why are you mentioning that person? Zhou Zheng's car was worth only a few dollars. How was it like the cars which could drive in and out of here freely? One could afford a house in their hometown of Pingcheng with any one of these cars. As a married woman who didn't have much dowry, Qiao Zijin's eyes shone when she thought of the house. She heard that Qiao Nan was rich. She didn't want much. She only wanted Qiao Nan to give her a house. Pingcheng was fine, but the best was in the capital. So be it. Ding Jiyi snorted. At this time, she despised Zhou Zheng a little. Zhou Zheng wasn't her only son-in-law. Between her 2 sons-in-law, not only was Zhou Zheng the worst, but he also paled too much in comparison to Zai Sheng. Seeing the quad of the Zai family and thinking about Zhou Zheng again, Ding Jiyi started to despise him. Based on the Zhou family's condition, they actually dared to hit Zijin. They were too gutsy. Honk! Honk! What are you honking for? Haven't we already made way? Ding Jiyi and Qiao Zijin, who had already walked to the side, saw that the car behind didn't make a move. Instead, the driver was honking at them and seemed to be very angry. Chapter 1522, Two-Faced. Ding Jiyi replied impatiently, "Don't think that I'm good to bully just because I haven't entered yet. Let me tell you. My younger daughter lives here. My son-in-law is the chief. My in-law was the old chief of the army. If you dare to offend me, I'll make sure you'll end up in a sorry state." At the entrance of this quad, once Ding Jiyi thought of the Zai family, she would be full of courage and confidence. She wasn't afraid of the rest of the people in there at all. Ding Jiyi knew that the people who lived here were ordinary cadres. Unless there were people who were willing to become the country's leaders, they basically were no match for her son-in-law. One had to look at the master before hitting a dog. Furthermore, she was Zai Sheng's mother-in-law. Qiao Zijin tugged at Ding Jiyi's shirt and said softly, "Mom, it seems to be Qiao Nan." "What? That wretched no, it is Qiao Nan." Ding Jiyi held back her words in time. Qiao Nan had married well and she was now successful. She didn't dare to call her a wretched girl anymore. Ding Jiyi hurriedly looked over. "Hey, it was really Qiao Nan. Nan, it's you. Have you returned from work? Let's talk at home." Qiao Nan opened the car door. "Get in." "Ah, okay." Ding Jiyi's eyes shone and got into the car happily. See? She had said long ago that she had given birth to Qiao Nan and she was her daughter in this lifetime. Regardless of how she treated Qiao Nan in the past, Xiao Nan had to provide for her. Furthermore, there wasn't any overnight hatred between mother and daughter. The past had already passed. Xiao Nan had never visited her for so many years. She didn't even mind that she only gave her a small amount of living expenses. It was rare to have a magnanimous mother like her. Xiao Nan had to count her blessings. Xiao Zijin was surprised as well. She thought that based on Xiao Nan's behavior for the past few years, it was definitely impossible for her to bother with her and her mother, and the two of them had to work extremely hard to get into Xiao Nan's car and make her relent. Ding Jiyi sat in the passenger's seat. Xiao Zijin naturally sat in the back seat. Fasten your seat belt. Ah! Ding Jiyi didn't understand and blinked her eyes. Xiao Nan pulled at the seat belt in front of her chest. Fasten your seat belt. Ding Jiyi said in dissatisfaction, how do I fasten this? I don't know how to. Let's forget it. We're about to reach home anyway. Why do I have to fasten this? It looks uncomfortable. When she was in Zhou Zheng's car, Ding Jiyi didn't have a chance to sit in the passenger's seat. She naturally didn't come into contact with a seat belt. Looking at the strap in front of her chest, Ding Jiyi naturally felt that once this belt was fastened, it would definitely feel uncomfortable. Xiao Nan took a deep breath. She unfastened her seat belt first, stood up, helped Ding Jiyi put on her seat belt, then returned to her position. After this was done, Xiao Nan backed up, turned the car around, and drove out of the quad. Hey, aren't you heading home? Where are you driving the car to? Where do you want to bring me to? Ding Jiyi became anxious. This obviously wasn't the way to the quad. Xiao Nan shouldn't want to take her and Zijin out to the wilderness and abandon them there, right? Xiao Zijin's face changed as well. She couldn't help but position her hand on the car door. Xiao Nan, don't do anything foolish. Think of your identity now. Furthermore, this is the capital. If something happens to me and Mom, you won't be able to hold on to the minister's position for long. The Zhou family knows that we came to the capital this time. If I don't contact the Zhou family tonight, do you believe that they will call the police immediately? You can't run away. Xiao Nan saw Xiao Zijin's pale face from the rearview mirror and laughed coldly. Oh, you share such a good relationship with the Zhou family, hey? I really couldn't tell. Did Zhou Zheng decide to forgive you for making a cuckold out of him? Did the Zhou family decide not to take this matter to heart? I really didn't expect Zhou Zheng to tolerate this. Your parents-in-law aren't ordinary people as well. They are all right with you making a cuckold out of their son? Are they all ninja turtles? Don't worry. I won't do anything illegal to the both of you and get myself into trouble. I'm not that stupid. Both of you weren't as valuable as me. Xiao Nan stopped the car in front of a tea house. Seeing that the place Xiao Nan parked her car was extremely lively and crowded, Ding Jiyi and Xiao Zijin felt safer. However, the mother and daughter pair still followed Xiao Nan closely. They were afraid that if it got too crowded and they didn't take notice, Xiao Nan would have left them behind there. I want a room. Okay, please follow me. The waiter brought the three of them to a room. Do you need any tea and snacks? Xiao Nan picked up the menu, casually pointed to a pot of tea and some set snacks, and got the waiter to prepare them. Okay, say whatever you want now. Why did you come to the capital for no apparent reason? It shouldn't be for travel, right? Also, Xiao Zijin, if you can't continue your life now, don't burden others. Just get a divorce. It's cleaner that way. Brothers, I had said before that among the Zhou family, Mother Zhou was the most aware of current affairs and wouldn't do anything muddle-headed. As such, even though Father Zhou and Zhou Zheng might be more foolish, both of them listened to her words. At least, there wasn't a big mess in the Zhou family before Xiao Zijin married over. As to whether Mother Zhou could manage Xiao Zijin or not, that was another matter. It was proven that Zai Sheng had a very accurate eye for people. After all, Xiaonan had led a peaceful life for many years, at least until today, where she met Ding Ji and Qiao Zijin, these two familiar faces again. Divorce? What divorce? Who said anything about a divorce? Will Zhou Zheng bear to leave me? Qiao Zijin felt guilty and wasn't willing to admit that she and Zhou Zheng were getting a divorce. Don't listen to hearsay. There's nothing. Zhou Zheng and I are well. If you and Zhou Zheng shared such a good relationship, would Zhou Zheng have caught you finding another man outside? Why do you think I would mention the divorce? I'm not sure if you want to get a divorce or not. What I know is that the Zhou family doesn't want Zhou Zheng to continue spending his life with you. She didn't stop the Zhou family from getting a divorce. Do you understand? It's the Zhou family who wants Zhou Zheng to get a divorce with you. Upon mentioning Zhou Zheng, Ding Ji rubbed her lips tightly and didn't dare to say anything. What are you doing? Don't forget that I'm your sister. If not for me, would Zhou Zheng be your brother-in-law? Aren't you helping the wrong person? Qiao Zijin felt irritated at the mention of divorce. She initially did have some thoughts on this. However, she was now a little unwilling to get a divorce. Chapter 1523, You have to provide for me too. She always felt that Xiaonan would definitely mock her if she were to get a divorce. I haven't decided if I'll get a divorce. Whether you've decided is between you and the Zhou family. I don't care. Xiaonan no longer mentioned Qiao Zijin and turned to look at Ding Ji. How about you? What do you mean by you or me? Who am I to you for you to address me like that? Where have your manners gone? You are a university graduate. Did your teacher teach you that? Ding Ji's expression changed and she was upset. From the time they met, Xiaonan had never even addressed her as mom. What did she mean? Was she disowning her? Dream on. Xiaonan laughed coldly. Excuse me. My teacher taught me quite well, but unfortunately, parents are ultimately the first teachers in their children's lives and also the most important ones. My mother gave birth to me but never taught me well, so please excuse me. Xiaonan was unconfident of being so impolite to anybody else but Ding Ji alone. Was this all not because of Ding Ji? If you have something to say, say it. Otherwise, I'm leaving. Don't leave. Ding Ji quickly stopped Xiaonan. I have something to say. Of course I have something to say. Otherwise, do you think I'm so free to come all the way to the capital to find you? You've had your father here in the capital for quite a few years, haven't you? Your dad had you, but I was the one who carried you for 10 months. I had it much harder than him. Now that you've made it in life and could provide for your father, don't you think you should provide for your mom too? So the 1,000 yuan that I give you every month doesn't count? Xiaonan laughed out of anger. Since Xiaonan was young, Ding Ji had always been a housewife. Because of the country's compulsory 9-year education, she had studied for 9 years without spending much money. At most, she only had to pay for her textbooks. Even with that, her mother had secretly sold all her books. When she entered high school, the two of them started to live separately. From then on, she had not eaten a single grain of rice cooked by Ding Ji. Her parents had not fulfilled their responsibilities as parents. It was good enough that she was willing to support them, yet she dared to say that the money she spent on Ding Ji was way more than what Ding Ji had ever spent on her. It's only 1,000 yuan. What can I even do with that? Ding Ji commented insincerely. In a small city like Pingcheng, Ding Ji could actually lead a comfortable life with 1,000 yuan and did not need to go out to work. Now that you're an important official, your future is bright and you don't lack anything. Why can't you think about your biological mother and let me have a good life like you? Oh, is the world coming to an end? Haven't you always said that the only one of your 2 children who can let you enjoy life is Qiao Zijin? If you want a good life, wait for your eldest daughter to be filial to you. She's already in her 30s. You've been waiting for quite a long time. She should be able to let you live a good life soon. I'm not going to get involved. Xiao Nan's words were words of anger that she had suppressed for 2 whole lifetimes. She really did not understand. It was Ding Jiyi herself who said that only Qiao Zijin was a smart and obedient child who had an unbridled future. So between her and Qiao Zijin, only Qiao Zijin would be filial to Ding Jiyi and let her lead a good life. If that was the case, why had Ding Jiyi never taken a single cent from Qiao Zijin? Instead, she had always been asking Qiao Nan for money to take care of Qiao Zijin. While Qiao Zijin was still studying, Ding Jiyi had to provide for her. After Qiao Zijin got married and had children, Ding Jiyi was still providing for her through her salary. It had been 2 lifetimes. Every time this time came around, Qiao Nan was curious as to whether Ding Jiyi really felt that there was nothing wrong with the way she lived and the words she had just spoken. Ding Jiyi smiled. She had indeed said that before, and not just once. Rather, before she separated from old Qiao, she had said this for several years in front of her 2 children. It's all in the past. Why do you still take it to heart? What? Do you want to settle these old debts? No, I don't intend on doing that. Qiao Nan calmed down quickly. With her arms around her chest, she looked at Ding Jiyi with an attitude of rejection. I'm just reminding you that it's good to have your own opinions, but when you're too idealistic and have such requests, I think you should change your target and ask someone else. It's best if you ask the daughter whom you think so highly of. I can't stand it. You looked down on me, and I almost couldn't study because of you. You gave birth to me, but after high school, we didn't even meet. I have nothing to do with you. At most, I'll just give you the most minimal support. As for all those high hopes and expectations, it's best you leave it to your beloved daughter to fulfill them. The living expenses that she gave Ding Jiyi every month was slightly more than what an average worker earned monthly. She dared say that based on Ding Jiyi's attitude toward her since she was young and the hostility between the 2 of them, she was already the best daughter that she could be. As for anything more, she was sorry that she could not and would never agree to them. Ding Jiyi restrained her anger, took a deep breath, and smiled forcefully. There was no other choice. The money was Qiao Nan's. If she did not coax Qiao Nan a little, even if Qiao Nan's pockets were overflowing with money, she would not get a dime. Qiao Nan, don't get upset. Wasn't that all in the past? You're a student from Peking University. Your sister graduated from a 3rd-class university. How can she be better off than you? Your mom can't count on your elder sister to provide for her retirement. I can only count on you. I was foolish in the past. Please don't take issue with that. Qiao Nan raised her hand and declared bankruptcy patiently. All right. Just spit it out. I will do it if I should. If I shouldn't, don't even dream of it. I want to stay here in the capital too. You have to provide for me. Ding Jiyi chattered, finally explaining her intentions. They were both the parents of this stupid girl. But why was it that old Jiao could stay in the capital while she could only live in Pingcheng? She lived in Pingcheng in a house that was hers, so she did not have to pay for rent. The rent for old Jiao's house in the capital was surely paid for by Qiao Nan. Old Jiao did not have so much money to do so. The thought of Qiao Dongliang spending more than her on his rent every month upset Ding Jiyi. If Qiao Dongliang could spend that much money, why couldn't she? She could only spend more than Qiao Dongliang, not any less. After all, she had carried Qiao Nan for 10 months in her tummy. To give birth to this daughter, she had worked so much harder than Qiao Dongliang. But why was it that Qiao Dongliang was being treated better than she was? Fine. Qiao Nan bit the corner of her lip. She had expected this day to come. Ding Jiyi would never give up a good opportunity. Compared to the past life, Ding Jiyi's temper had already improved, seeing that she had been able to endure it for so long before coming up from Pingcheng. But even so, she was still as annoying. Chapter 1524, Don't play anymore. I'll rent the house for you and continue giving you 1,000 yuan for your living expenses every month. That's impossible. Things are so much more expensive in the capital as compared to Pingcheng. 1,000 isn't enough. I want 2,000. Only 1,000. Qiaonan shook her head. In Pingcheng, 1,000 yuan can give you a luxurious lifestyle that is better than the average working class. You're clearer about that than I am. 1,000 may not be as much in the capital as Pingcheng, but for retirement, at least you won't go hungry. If you don't buy off-season and expensive vegetables, you can still eat nutritiously. As for clothing, I'll pay for new clothes every season. Ding Jiyi only needed to take care of her meals with 1,000 yuan. With Ding Jiyi's stingy nature, she would probably still be able to squeeze out some money to save in the bank. My advice to you is to lower your expectations. If you get on my nerves, we might just cut all ties. I have to remind you of this. I'm not your only child. If you really want 2,000, that's all right. Only I have to provide for you? How about Jiao Zijin? We're both your daughters, so it's only right that your living expenses should be footed by the both of us. When Qiaonan was asked to provide for their retirement, she had never refused. And she did not even ask Jiao Zijin to chip in. There was no reason for Qiaonan to be providing for her retirement alone, while Jiao Zijin did not. After all, they were both Ding Jiyi's children. If Ding Jiyi dared to say that she would ask for 2,000 yuan from Jiao Zijin, in addition to the 2,000 yuan from Qiaonan, she would definitely be scolded to the grave. Even in the capital, the average worker's salary had not been high before 2010. If Ding Jiyi alone could receive a living allowance of 4,000 yuan, then other children would never survive. Exceptional old people like Ding Jiyi were not all that uncommon. If biological parents were like that, then how about step-parents? In that case, everyone would learn from Ding Jiyi and open their mouths as wide as a lion. If that were really to happen, society would be in a mess. The only thing that Ding Jiyi had against Qiaonan was that she had given birth to Qiaonan. And for that, Qiaonan had obligations toward her. She knew that she held the upper hand since it was part of societal expectations. Qiaonan had no other choice. But if public opinions were to support Qiaonan and turn against Ding Jiyi, then Ding Jiyi would not be able to continue playing this game. Then, she would not only lose her status but also be ridiculed by the public. After hearing Qiaonan's words, Ding Jiyi knew that 1,000 yuan was Qiaonan's limit. If she asked for any more, Qiaonan would drag Jiao Zijin into this and divide her requested allowance by half. Then, the money that she got from Qiaonan would be 1,000 yuan less. Although Ding Jiyi had often said that Jiao Zijin would be successful in the future, ever since Jiao Zijin graduated and found a job, she had never given Ding Jiyi a single cent. At most, she would buy some vegetables home. Ding Jiyi knew that it was almost impossible for her elder daughter to be filial to her. So when it came to her living allowance, Ding Jiyi did not even include Jiao Zijin in her plan. This is for normal living expenses. If you agree, then I'll continue giving you 1,000 every month and go ahead with the plan we talked about earlier. If you don't, then whatever amount you want, I'll split it in half with Jiao Zijin. If you expect too much, that's all right too. I'll just not give you anything. You can do whatever you want as long as you have confidence that you won't be the one getting into trouble instead of me. She was in a sensitive position, and the person she married was rather special. Even if it was just to preserve the reputation of her husband's family, Qiaonan had no choice but to give Ding Jiyi 1,000 yuan a month. Chapter 1525, I can't afford to provide for you. Even if Ding Jiyi continued throwing her tantrum, Qiaonan would still be able to discuss the matter calmly with a clear conscience. Okay, I agree. Ding Jiyi was ungrateful, but she knew her limits. She was clear of the kind of decision that would be the most favorable for herself. She did not even dream of getting a single cent from Jiao Zijin, much less a living allowance of up to a few hundred yuan or even 1,000 yuan. With such a comparison, Ding Ji had no choice but to settle for the 1,000 yuan from Jiaonan every month. It's good that we're in agreement. Next, we have to discuss what will happen if your dad's health deteriorates. You've agreed to follow my plan in ordinary times. As for anything else, I don't care what requests you make to Jiao Zijin. But if your dad falls sick, I'll split the costs equally with Jiao Zijin. This is non-negotiable. Since they were young, Jiao Zijin had it better than her. Of course, Jiao Zijin could not just enjoy all these benefits until their parents passed away. She was going to have to pay them back too. There's no such thing as a free lunch. This, Ding Ji wanted to agree, but she knew that it would be costly if she were to be hospitalized. Jiaonan had a decent job but relied mainly on her husband's family. Ding Ji knew that Jiaonan enjoyed many benefits, but as to whether her salary was high, Ding Ji was not too sure. Jiaonan had given birth to 3 children, of which 2 were boys. Now, her most expensive expense was providing for the elderly and children. But raising children could not be considered to be a waste of money, unlike providing for the elderly. Other things aside, in recent years, Ding Ji had seen how much the Zhou family spent on sending Jiao Zijin's daughter to this enrichment class and that music lesson. The amount spent was heart-wrenching. It was expensive to raise just one child, much less the triplets of the Zai family. Because Jiaonan had to provide for 2 elderly people in addition to her 3 children, she would not even have anything left to save. If she fell sick, she did not want to die just because she could not afford treatment. It was not wise to place such a burden entirely on Jiaonan alone. If this crushed Jiaonan, she would have to rely solely on Jiao Zijin. If that time came, it would be hard for her to survive, much less live a comfortable life. She thought about how she might even have to re-enter the workforce to support herself in her old age if she were to lose Jiaonan. As such, Ding Ji was agreeable to Jiaonan's suggestion. Deal. We'll go ahead with what you said. In the future, if old Jiao or I get sick, you'll split the expenses equally with Zijin. Mom. Jiao Zijin was upset. Jiaonan is more than capable of taking care of it alone. Why do you have to pull me in? If she had any spare cash, should she not be allowed to spend it on some more clothes or a handbag for herself? Of course I have to pull you into this. Are you not my daughter? Did I not raise you? Didn't your dad and I pay for all your expenses before you got married? Are you not planning on providing for me after I raised you for so many years? Ding Ji was annoyed. She did not pin her hopes on her elder daughter to provide for her to live the high life, but if she were to fall ill, was her elder daughter really not going to help her out financially and just watch on by the sidelines and shed some tears? For Jiao Zijin, she had suffered so much. She and her husband had actually given up their outstanding younger daughter just for her elder daughter. Ding Ji, who had always seen Jiao Zijin through rose-tinted glasses, finally held a slight grudge against Jiao Zijin. In the end, if it was not for her elder daughter, her perfect family would not have landed in such a mess. She clearly had 2 daughters, but now, it seemed as though she had lost one of them, and the other was lost herself. As for all the things she had done in recent years, Ding Ji did not think about them. She felt that she had spent so much money and effort on Jiao Zijin. But if Jiao Zijin had just put in a bit more effort, she would not have needed to lower her pride and come begging Jiaonan for mercy. Wasn't this all because Jiao Zijin had not made any effort in her life? She had not been good enough, and her sacrifices all these years had been for naught. In the end, when she fell sick, Jiao Zijin was unwilling to pay for her medical bills. This time, Ding Ji would be crazy to agree to Jiao Zijin's unreasonable demands. After all, a leopard never changes its spots. Selfish people will never be able to hide their true selves. It's not that I don't want to provide for you, but don't you know the situation I'm in? In the capital, she still had to rely on her mother's connections to survive. She could not afford to ruffle Ding Ji's feathers now. I'm afraid I'm not that capable. After marrying Zhou Zheng, I stopped working. After running away from the Zhou family, she had not returned for 2 months. In that time, she had spent almost all of her personal savings that she had worked hard to save. To use her money to cover half the cost of the 2 elderly people's hospitalization bills? What a joke! She could hardly provide for herself. So what do you want me to say about you? Ding Jiyi wanted to knock Qiao Zijin's forehead with an iron bar. This was how Qiao Nan was treated in the past. The Zhou family is not that bad. You had a good job, but you suddenly quit. The Zhou family didn't even say anything about it and gave you an allowance every month. Where will you find such a good family? Since you don't work, it's as though your in-laws are paying your salary for nothing. When she first got married to Old Qiao had no choice but to hand over his entire salary to her. Old Qiao did not have the ability to give her a separate allowance. Whether it was then or now, it was difficult to find in-laws like the Zhou family. But even with such good in-laws, Qiao Zijin made such a great fuss that the Zhou family no longer wanted her as part of their family. Hearing Qiao Nan talk about how the Zhou family planned on getting Zhou Zheng to divorce Qiao Zijin made Ding Jiyi panic. But Qiao Zijin herself was extraordinarily calm, so much so that Ding Jiyi could not even bother being anxious on her behalf. If Ding Jiyi were in her place and such good in-laws, she would never think of finding a lover outside and would dedicate herself to being the best daughter-in-law. Even with old Qiao's meager income, she had never gone astray in their marriage. But Zijin was ungrateful, discontent, and committed such acts. Since Qiao Zijin returned to the Qiao family and Ding Jiyi found out what Qiao Zijin had done, Ding Jiyi had been too embarrassed to leave the house to chat with others about their children. Her greatest fear was that her neighbors would ask why Qiao Zijin was staying at her parents' house for such a long time and did not seem to have any intention of returning to her in-laws' house. If Qiao Zijin was not returning, was the Zhou family not going to pick her up? Did Qiao Zijin not need to raise her daughter? Ding Jiyi knew that she alone would never be able to answer all these questions. Chapter 1526, Not Having a Guilty Conscience. It was also because of this matter that Ding Jiyi started to have a huge opinion on Qiao Zijin now. It was either they didn't mention this matter, or if they did, Ding Jiyi would get anxious with Qiao Zijin and scold her a vixen for not living her life well. Okay, don't say these words in front of me. You don't have other questions, right? If not, I'll rent a hotel room for you first. You'll stay there for a night. I'll find a house for you tomorrow and you can move in. As for you, Qiao Zijin, I've said my words clearly just now. I need to provide for her, not you. You have to take care of yourself. Regardless of how big a fuss you kick, it will be useless. There's no reason for a younger sister to provide for an older sister. Oh, right, I forgot to tell you. I'll give you 1,000 yuan every month. I won't care how you spend it or who you spend it on. However, if you don't have enough, don't bother asking me for more. Even if you do, I won't give it to you. Qiao Nan was indeed afraid of how foolish Ding Jiyi would be if she spent time together with Qiao Zijin. Qiao Zijin especially knew how to coax Ding Jiyi. Not willing to condone this mother-daughter pair anymore, Qiao Nan gave Ding Jiyi a heads up. If Ding Jiyi dared to squander all the money on Qiao Zijin, she wouldn't give her any additional money. Children were meant to support their parents. The problem was some parents loved to spend lavishly and on things that were not within their means. It was impossible for children to sell their flesh and blood just to satisfy their parents' excessive consumption. On this point, Qiao Nan had always held on to a viewpoint. She could let Ding Jiyi enjoy all the good food, drinks, and clothes. However, that was all. If Ding Jiyi wanted to live an extravagant life where she could spend lavishly, then apologies. Unless Qiao Zijin could provide it, she would never be able to achieve this. Okay, let's go. After saying her words, Qiao Nan paid for the tea and snacks and led Ding Jiyi and Qiao Zijin to rent a hotel room. Ding Jiyi looked at the snacks on the table reluctantly. Money was spent on these. They didn't eat much and it was simply a waste. Ding Ji couldn't hold back and grabbed some of them in her hands. Qiao Zijin wanted to do so as well. However, when she was in Pingcheng, she had consumed at such places before as well. She wasn't willing to do the same as Ding Ji and held back. However, when she saw the bill, she was speechless. This was indeed the capital. The price of a sip of tea here was twice or thrice that of Pingcheng. However, Qiao Nan had hardly touched the expensive tea and snacks. Under such circumstances, Qiao Nan was still willing to pay and just leave without eating anything. What did this show? This showed that Qiao Nan's conditions had really improved and she was leading a much better life than her. If it were Qiao Nan from 10 years before, how would she let these go to waste? Could it be that a diplomat in the central government earned a high salary? Indeed, being supported by the government was good. The Zhou family didn't even lead such an easy life like Qiao Nan, let alone her. Qiao Zijin found it a pity that she couldn't bask in the glory of Qiao Nan's success. Even her mother stood at the peak of human relations. However, the Qiao Nan today was really too smart. Her words had shut all their paths out. She understood that aside from providing their mother with food and clothes, Qiao Nan wouldn't make up for anything else and let her lead the life of a rich man's wife. There was a limit to the amount of money she would provide, and her mother wouldn't have any excess cash. How was she going to find a way to coax the money out of her mother so that it became hers? Only then did Qiao Zijin develop the thought of wanting Qiao Nan to buy a house for her. Who knew that they hadn't met for a few years and Qiao Nan had become stingier than before, leaving Qiao Zijin little room to express her thoughts. She had no choice but to fall into an extremely passive state. Qiao Zijin sighed. Qiao Nan was better looking and had a smarter brain. Why was it that she was luckier than her as well and managed to marry such a formidable husband like Zai Sheng? If one calculated it, Qiao Nan had occupied all the favorable climatic, geographical, and human conditions. This world was really unfair. She had waited for over 10 years for Qiao Nan's luck to be down. Instead, she saw Qiao Nan living a better life day by day. Qiao Nan had already reached the stage where her neck would be sore if she looked up at her. How good it would be if she was Qiao Nan or if these good things happened to her. If Zhou Zheng was as outstanding as Zai Sheng, would she resort to being charmed by other men outside? The man outside was much better than Zhou Zheng, and she felt happier only when she was with him. Nobody knew what Qiao Zijin was thinking about. After Qiao Zijin recovered herself, Qiao Nan had already sent her and Ding Ji to the entrance of the hotel. Qiao Nan booked a twin bedroom for them. "I'll pick you up tomorrow at 12. Remember what I said. Don't say I didn't tell you this beforehand. It has been over 10 years. You should understand how firm my attitude is, right?" I know. I really don't know if I'm your mother, or you're my mother." How fierce! Ding Ji was angry, but she knew she had to rely on Qiao Nan for a living. She completely didn't dare to yell at and scold Qiao Nan like before. If Ding Ji really infuriated Qiao Nan, Ding Ji knew that the unlucky one in the end would be her. By then, Qiao Nan would ignore her, and Qiao Zijin wouldn't be willing to provide for her. Miao Jing had been waiting for Qiao Nan. Seeing that she finally returned home, she asked strangely, "Why are you back so late today? Did something happen?" "My mother brought Qiao Zijin over." Miao Jing's face changed. "I know this, but I didn't let them in. Bad things were bound to happen if they came knocking on the door. If not for their family's relationship with the Zhou family, Qiao Zijin wouldn't have been qualified to marry over to the Zhou family. Who would have thought that Qiao Zijin was so shameless and didn't count her blessings after marrying into the Zhou family? She even had an affair." Miao Jing was relieved not only once that although Qiao Nan and Qiao Zijin were born to the same mother, Qiao Nan was nothing like Ding Ji or Qiao Zijin. Otherwise, whoever had a daughter-in-law like Qiao Zijin would really cry to their death. It was more or less related to their family that the Zhou family would have Qiao Zijin as a daughter-in-law. As such, Miao Jing and Zai Sheng said to give the Zhou family some benefits as a form of compensation. The Zhou family had given face and didn't spread the word of Jiao Zijin doing such a shameless thing. However, Jiao Zijin was unwilling to relent and even stayed at the Jiao family's house for 2 months. Chapter 1527, Who was pettier? Jiao Zijin looked as if she would never return to the Zhou family if they didn't send someone over to bow down and admit their mistake. In short, this wasn't something a person should do. It's fine. Xiao Nan had guessed that if the Zai family hadn't said anything, the people at the door wouldn't dare to block Ding Ji and Xiao Zijin off after hearing that they were the in-laws of the Zai family, as if they were not afraid of the consequences. Then, what happened? Ding Ji and Xiao Zijin were not the kind of people who were willing to give up. It was more or less related to these two women that Nan Nan was back home late today. Xiao Nan changed her shoes, washed her hands, brought the dishes to the table, and shouted for Zai Yai to have the meal together. It's fine. I booked a room for them. The main reason why my mother came to the capital is the same as my father, which is for me to provide them a living. I'll provide her a place to live in. The rest would be like back when I was in Pingcheng. I would give her living expenses of 1,000 yuan each month. Xiao Zijin has nothing to do with me. I don't have to provide for her. I've already explained the situation to my mother and she should know what to do, so I'll let her be. It was all right since she had already fulfilled all her obligations. Coincidentally, Zai Yai heard these words and nodded in acknowledgement. Based on our family's situation now, what Nan Nan did was right. Parents always have their good reasons. Based on the fact that she gave birth to Nan Nan alone, Nan Nan is bound to be at a loss. Nan Nan needed to let Ding Ji understand her situation so that her behavior would become restrained and she wouldn't act as if it was lawless. It was already considered easy to talk to for parents like Ding Ji who wanted to eat, drink, and live well. Zai Yai had seen a number of examples whereby overly demanding requests were made. Based on Zai Yai's definition, Ding Ji was just considered a little evil person. If she was a real evil person, no matter how good Xiao Nan was, Zai Yai wouldn't have dared to let Xiao Nan be their daughter-in-law. Miao Jing was a little dissatisfied but she couldn't undo Xiao Nan's decision. Zai Yai was agreeable with what Xiao Nan did as well. It's 2 votes against my vote. What else can I say? How good it is to be a parent like Ding Ji. No wonder she insisted on giving birth to a second child back then even when Xiao Dongliang was at risk of losing his position in the army. In a certain sense, Ding Ji had given birth to a great second child, Nan Nan. Based on the current situation, with regards to providing for Ding Ji, aside from counting on Nan Nan, there wasn't a second possibility. If Xiao Zijin could cause less trouble to Ding Ji so that she could enjoy her later years, it would be considered that she didn't let Ding Ji down. Like mother, like daughter. Nan Nan had to pay off her debt as Ding Ji's daughter. Ding Ji had to pay off her debt as Xiao Zijin's mother. Every bite and every sip was preordained. God wasn't foolish as it had arranged for Xiao Zijin, who was a big trouble, to be Ding Ji's precious eldest daughter. Okay, let's eat. Zai Yai was quite satisfied as to how Xiao Nan handled this. Although this matter was handled well, Zai Yai knew that regardless of how well she had handled it, Xiao Nan would have been exhausted to face Ding Ji and Xiao Zijin, who had unique identities. His son and grandchildren weren't at home and they wouldn't be able to ease out Xiao Nan's anxiety. As the father-in-law, he wasn't in a position to say anything. As for Miao Miao, Zai Yai smiled. If Miao Miao could trouble Xiao Nan less, that would be considered not bad as well. As such, they had to finish this meal quickly so that Xiao Nan could return to her room early and rest. After recuperating, she could cope with Xiao Zijin and Ding Ji better tomorrow. Why are you up so early? Xiao Zijin slept pretty well in the hotel room. When she woke up, she saw that Ding Ji was already dressed well and sitting by the bed for a while. What time is it now? Have you ordered some food? I'm hungry. Ding Ji rolled her eyes at Xiao Zijin. If you're hungry, go and order some food yourself. Also, don't forget to pay for it afterward. She took a look just now. Any casual item ordered would be expensive. Breakfast in the hotel could cost the same as a whole day's meal in Pingcheng. Ding Ji knew that if she really ordered breakfast, she couldn't just order her share. Xiao Zijin couldn't go hungry. It was just that Ding Ji couldn't bear to pay for a person's breakfast. If she were to pay for two people's share, wasn't that digging into Ding Ji's flesh? If you're really hungry, let's do this. I boiled some water. You can drink more water to fill your stomach. Xiao Nan will pick us up in the afternoon and might even treat us to lunch. You can eat to your fill then. If we don't have this meal, I'll go to the market to buy some ingredients and make some food for us. No matter what, it would be more worth it than ordering something in the hotel. Mom, aren't you a little too stingy? Xiao Zijin was dissatisfied. Don't think I don't know that every time Xiao Nan gives you 1,000 yuan monthly, you would spend at most 200 or 300 yuan in Pingcheng. It has been a few years, so you should have saved 40,000 to 50,000 yuan, no? You can't even bear to spend on breakfast. That's too stingy. I'm your biological daughter. Do you want me to starve to death? Ding Ji gritted her teeth. She didn't expect her eldest daughter to know so clearly how much she had saved when Xiao Nan didn't even know. Do you still remember that I'm your mother? You're already married and over 30 years old now. You're a mother as well. Xiao Nan knows how to give me living allowance every month. Why don't you give me a little as well? At this point in time, shouldn't it be you buying food for me? You still want me to fork out the money? Xiao Zijin slept especially well. Ding Ji wasn't used to sleeping in a foreign environment. Since she couldn't fall asleep despite lying on the bed, she kept thinking about whether Xiao Nan was serious about what she said to herself during the day. What was she going to do to lead a better life? Thinking of the past few years, aside from giving her living allowance, Xiao Nan didn't keep in contact with her at all. It was as if they were unrelated. She had no choice but to believe that what Xiao Nan said was true. Even if she had over 40,000 yuan of savings in her hands, Ding Ji didn't feel at ease. This sum of money was equivalent to her coffin money. Unless it was a last resort, she would definitely not touch the money in this account. Ding Ji couldn't even bear to spend the money on herself, so how could she be willing to spend it on Xiao Zijin? Stingy. I've called you mom for over 30 years, yet you can't even bear to buy me breakfast. Mom, are you still my mother? Xiao Zijin was unhappy. I've provided for you for over 30 years. I don't see you giving back to me either. I'm also thinking if I'm raising a daughter or an ancestor. Xiao Zijin took a deep breath. Chapter 1528, A Slap. Her mother wasn't as easy to coax as before. Mom, don't be angry. I wanted breakfast not because I was hungry. I was just worried you're hungry. At your age, you should be enjoying life. Of course, you shouldn't go hungry. If you fall ill, I'll feel heartache. Furthermore, how expensive could a breakfast cost? Even if it was expensive, would it be more expensive than your health? If my conditions were as good as Xiao Nan's, I would have considered these a long time ago. I'd guarantee that there's a good breakfast in front of you every time you woke up. You have to know that your health is more important to me than anything else. What is money? If you spend it, you can always earn it back. Mom, if your health's gone, it's really gone. Mom, you have been hungry until now. Does your stomach feel uncomfortable? Xiao Zijin sat next to Ding Ji and leaned on her body as if spineless. When Xiao Zijin was young, Ding Ji thought that her daughter was pouting when she did this. However, she was a mother now as well. When Xiao Zijin did this again, Ding Ji felt weird. Furthermore, when Xiao Zijin did this when she was young, it wasn't like that. Ding Ji felt uncomfortable and sat to the side. Sit properly. Why are you going all limp on me as if spineless? Why? Did the bones in your body end up in my stomach when I gave birth to you back then? Also, you weren't like this when you were young. Where did you learn such things from? Why are you acting like the vixens on TV? How would Ding Ji have thought that Jiao Zijin had self-learned these and used them on men all along? It was rare that Jiao Zijin wanted to seriously coax Ding Ji today. Otherwise, Ding Ji wouldn't have seen this side of Jiao Zijin. It was just that when Jiao Zijin did this, she seemed to have forgotten something. Not only was this person before her a female, but she was also her biological mother. She wasn't the type of easygoing man she had come into contact with before. When a similar method was used on different subjects, it was obvious that the effect would be very different. As long as Jiao Zijin revealed this soft and charming side to her, even Zhou Zheng would be willing to give Jiao Zijin a little more living allowance when they were in Pingcheng. It was needless to say for other men. However, Jiao Zijin had used this method on her own biological mother today. Not only did Ding Ji feel that she wasn't coaxed, but she even felt uncomfortable all over as if 100 ants were crawling and biting her body. As such, Jiao Zijin couldn't get a breakfast out of Ding Ji, let alone some money. Jiao Nan, you're finally here. You don't know how hungry Mom has been. Before taking a look at the house, bring me and Mom for a meal. Once Jiao Nan appeared in the afternoon, Jiao Zijin entered the car first and asked for a meal without another word. Jiao Nan didn't have any reaction to Jiao Zijin's words. She only looked at Ding Ji. Ding Ji's face flushed red. She said softly, "Yes, we have been waiting for you. We haven't eaten yet and are hungry now." Ding Ji found it a little unbearable that they didn't have a good breakfast. Now that it was time for lunch, Ding Ji was extremely hungry. "Eat." Jiao Nan laughed coldly and handed over the rice box in her hands to Ding Ji. That was right as well. With me around, you would be so stingy that you wouldn't bear to spend on a meal. Forget it that you couldn't bear to eat, but since when couldn't you bear to spend on your precious eldest daughter as well? I didn't expect this at all. In the past, Ding Ji would rather not eat than to let Jiao Zijin starve. She heard that the stomach of Jiao Zijin, who was sitting in the back seat, was indeed growling. Jiao Nan was surprised. Even if Ding Ji was unwilling to, Jiao Zijin would have used all ways to fill her stomach. It was precisely because of that that Jiao Nan only prepared a lunch box for Ding Ji. She couldn't be bothered to bring Ding Ji to eat at another place. A meal wouldn't be cheap as well. Jiao Nan wasn't very willing to spend on Ding Ji. Furthermore, she was going to help Ding Ji rent a house today. That was another huge sum of money. Ding Ji didn't answer Jiao Nan. She knew that if it were in the past, she would really have done that. However, she only wanted to fill her stomach first now. The scent of the lunch box was very strong. Once Ding Ji opened the lunch box, she started to eat at an alarming speed. In the blink of an eye, half of the white rice was already in Ding Ji's stomach. Jiao Nan casually handed over an unopened bottle of mineral water in the car to Ding Ji. She didn't want Ding Ji to choke on her food while eating in her car. She would have to send her to the hospital then. A full box of rice went down her stomach. Ding Ji gave a comfortable burp and looked satisfied. It feels good to be full. After drinking a few sips of water, Ding Ji felt that such a life was pretty good. Me? What about me? Jiao Zijin was anxious. She was still hungry. Yours? I didn't prepare it. Jiao Nan turned the steering wheel and into the community. Okay, we've reached. Get down. Okay. Ding Ji, who had finished eating, had no opinion on Jiao Nan's arrangement. Looking at the towering building, Ding Ji was thrilled. You rented a house for me here. I'll stay here in the future, right? Yes. With the key in her hands, Jiao Nan walked in front and pressed for the lift. She got Ding Ji to remember the unit number well. Remember where you live in the future. Don't forget how to come back home after heading out. In a place like the capital, it was already generous of Jiao Nan to provide a bedroom and a living room for Ding Ji alone, as this was equivalent to a small suite where an average family of 3 could live in. She had done what she could. Jiao Nan would definitely not let anyone have something to attack her with over such a small matter. Don't worry. I'm not senile. I will definitely remember it. In Pingcheng, Ding Ji had never seen such a house before. There were even elevators. Ding Ji was happy. I'm guessing that among the people in the northern quad, only I have the blessing to live in such a good house. Is this the one? Let's take a look quickly. Jiao Nan opened the door. Ding Ji entered. Initially, she was still smiling. Then, she frowned. This looks not bad. However, isn't it a little too small? It's only half of our house at the very most. It looked like a bird's nest. Jiao Nan sat down and looked at Ding Ji. If the Chiao family's house is rented out, the monthly rental is only 100 yuan, right? It was less than 100. The rent here is 5 times that in Pingcheng. Jiao Nan reached out a palm as if wanting to slap Ding Ji to her death. Chapter 1529, Learning by Example. The expensive rent was already half a month of Ding Ji's living allowance. Don't compare Pingcheng with the capital. I've said before that with the same 1,000 yuan living allowance, the quality of life you had in Pingcheng couldn't be compared to the capital at all. 5 times. Ding Ji was completely speechless. She had only worked a few years in her life when she just got a divorce with Jiao Dongliang and needed to provide for Jiao Zijin's education. After that, she returned to her home and led a casual life, especially since the year Jiao Nan started to provide her living allowance. Ding Ji, who had little work experience, knew that if she didn't have Jiao Nan as a daughter, she wouldn't have been able to afford such a house in the capital even if she worked herself. The monthly rent was more than 500 yuan. When she had worked in the past, she only earned at most 200 to 300 yuan a month. In other words, she couldn't even afford the monthly rent with her salary, let alone food and drinks. It's good that you're clear. If there are no other questions, I'll give you this month's living allowance now in your face. I don't have to care about you anymore, right? Jiao Nan placed 1,000 yuan in cash on the table, handing it to Ding Ji. After doing this, Jiao Nan prepared to leave. Jiao Nan had completely neglected Jiao Zijin, who was sizing up the house. It was as if she didn't see her at all. After sizing up the house, Jiao Zijin looked at the money on the table and her eyes shone. Mom, Jiao Zijin wanted to say that she was a bit cash-strapped recently and if she could lend her the 1,000 yuan first, she would return it later. It was a pity there was no relationship to talk about in front of money. Ding Ji was a step faster than Jiao Zijin and kept the money. Okay. I have received this month's living allowance. I won't ask you for more. In Pingcheng, she could save most of her money in a month. It was afraid that she wouldn't be able to save so much from the 1,000 yuan after being in the capital. Ding Ji didn't let Jiao Zijin touch the money she had saved in the past. This 1,000 yuan was more important to Ding Ji now, and it was even less likely that she would let Jiao Zijin touch it. All is good. You can head back. You're so busy at work. I don't want to disturb you. However, can I ask where your father is staying at? Is he in this community as well? Actually, even if she got a divorce with old Jiao, they were still husband and wife initially. They could talk about patching back later. Rather than letting Jiao Nan rent 2 houses, why didn't she live with old Jiao so that Jiao Nan could still save the rent of a house? If she stayed with old Jiao, Jiao Nan should be able to provide them with a bigger house instead, right? She was used to staying in bigger spaces. Ding Ji felt a little suffocated for having to stay in such a small place suddenly. Dad doesn't know you are here. This is his number. If you can't wait, you can contact him first. Other than this, she didn't meddle in any of his other affairs. okay. Ding Jiyi grabbed Jiao Dongliang's number in her hands once again and didn't let Jiao Zijin take a look. She was worried that if Jiao Zijin wasn't able to get any money from her, she would use this number to contact Jiao Dongliang and try all kinds of methods to coax Jiao Dongliang to hand over his money to her. It wasn't only the money in her hands. Even the money in old Jiao's hands shouldn't be given to Zijin anymore. Jiao Zijin was already in her 30s, but she had never received a dime of Jiao Zijin's filial piety. Instead, when Jiao Zijin stayed with her for the past 2 months, she had paid for all her expenses. In these 2 months, Jiao Zijin didn't even have the thought to provide some form of living allowance to her. The more Jiao Zijin was like this, the more Ding Jiyi became concerned about money. She had to have her meals. It was nothing to spare some food for Jiao Zijin. After all, she had given birth to her. However, Ding Jiyi wasn't that generous to give her own money to Jiao Zijin. Otherwise, based on Jiao Zijin's character, Jiao Zijin would have long coaxed the money out of Ding Jiyi to buy a house. Not only did Ding Jiyi keep a tight rein on her money, but she also did the same to Jiao Dongliang's money. She understood that in their family of 4, only Jiao Zijin's heart was the coldest and hardest. If something happened in the future and she needed money, Jiao Nan would fork out half the amount, Jiao Zijin wouldn't be willing to take any out, and Jiao Dongliang would definitely not look on if he knew her situation. To put it bluntly, Ding Jiyi wasn't afraid that Jiao Dongliang would be coaxed by Jiao Zijin to give her money. She was worried that if she needed it, Jiao Dongliang's money would have been used up by Jiao Zijin and he couldn't give any to her. In Ding Jiyi's eyes, Jiao Dongliang's money was no different from hers. Thus, she had to take care of both aspects and not give Jiao Zijin any opportunity to take advantage of them. Jiao Zijin was angered by how Ding Jiyi was guarding against her like she was against a thief. Didn't they say that older people were more confused? Why did she feel that her mother was getting smarter? When she was young, it was pretty easy to coax her mother. In recent years, aside from eating and drinking at her mother's place, she didn't receive a single cent from her before. How stingy! She really didn't understand. Her mother didn't earn this money. Jiao Nan had given it to her. She was taking advantage of Jiao Nan. On what basis that only her mother could take advantage of her but she couldn't? Okay, I'm leaving. When we came over, I've already pointed to you the direction of the market. I'll let you decide what to do next. Jiao Nan didn't even look at Jiao Zijin and Ding Jiyi as they competed. She picked up her bag and left. Jiao Zijin stomped her feet and chased after Jiao Nan. Nan, I would like to discuss something with you. I left in a hurry this time around and I'm about to finish spending all my money. Can I borrow some from you? I don't need too much. Just a few thousands will do. I'll have money when I'm back and I'll return it to you. Is that okay? No, Jiao Nan rejected. Number 1, you don't have a job. Number 2, Zhou Zheng is about to get a divorce with you. Once you divorce, you will only get a small living allowance from Zhou Zheng. You're borrowing money from me? How are you going to return it to me? You're not borrowing money here. You're demanding it. Don't treat yourself as a high-class beggar. Also, don't think people's money, especially my money, come easily. After rejecting Jiao Zijin mercilessly, Jiao Nan left satisfied. She returned to the ministry and continued the work on her hands. Li Dai looked at the clock in the office. Minister Chiao took a longer lunch break today. It's half an hour later than usual. As the minister, was it good to take the lead in being late and leaving early? Could they learn by example in the future? Chapter 1530, Deng Wenchang, are you willing to accept this? Upon hearing Li Dai's words, Deng Wenchang looked up and sneered. Some people shouldn't think so much. It's best to understand where he or she stands. Making things difficult for her? Why don't you think who would be easier to make things difficult for? Don't force her to that. Otherwise, if something really happens, Don't cry. Li Daiyai was more serious than Su Xinming. After he was willing to work harder, he agreed to give Li Daiyai another chance. After Qiao Nan got promoted, she didn't find Li Daiyai trouble. However, this didn't mean that Qiao Nan didn't have ways to find trouble for Li Daiyai. If Li Daiyai couldn't understand this, he would be reunited with Su Xinming and be close colleagues with him sooner or later. It was just that no one knew if their working relationship this time would be as good as when it was 5 or 6 years ago. Li Daiyai's face changed. Deng Wenchang, don't you find yourself strange? Besides, are you willing to let this person suppress you? Didn't they say that Deng Wenchang was the first to eye the minister's position? The old minister had some friendship with the Deng family, but Qiao Nan had appeared out of nowhere and snatched that position away. He didn't believe that Deng Wenchang wasn't angry at all. But Deng Wenchang didn't help him when he was trying to make things difficult for Qiao Nan. Why was he siding Qiao Nan with his words? What's there to be unwilling about? Deng Wenchang laughed with ridicule. Li Daiyai, do you think that it's better for Qiao Nan or yourself to be the minister? Between the two of you, who do you think I will submit to? He knew what Li Daiyai was up to. Li Daiyai wanted to get rid of Qiao Nan and then take the position of the minister himself. In the face of Li Daiyai's naive thoughts, Deng Wenchang couldn't help but laugh. I feel that it's better for Qiao Nan to sit in that position rather than someone else. Regardless, Qiao Nan is capable and has a formidable parent-in-law family. If something happens to the ministry, her parents-in-law can help solve the problem. You? What do you have for me to recognize you? Don't tell him that Li Daiyai was only capable of resisting. As long as Li Daiyai sent Qiao Nan on a mission and let her play a complete role there, any problem that the ministry faced could be resolved. When Li Daiyai's face changed, Deng Wenchang laughed absurdly. Did you really think that way? Did you see yourself as an ancient emperor? Such things only happen in movies. As the leader of a department, how can you not have sufficient capabilities to convince others? If you only want to resist, you have to see if the other party is willing to listen to you. Fool! The position of a minister wasn't omnipotent. He or she couldn't order the masses around and choose to execute someone if he or she wasn't compliant. Did he really think that it was so easy to be a minister of foreign affairs? Would words do? Deng Wenchang had to say that Li Daiyai's mindset was really stupid. If such a person really became the minister, the country's face would be thrown. Once he thought of that beautiful image, Deng Wenchang closed his eyes so that he could feel slightly more comfortable. After being ridiculed by Deng Wenchang, Li Daiyai felt both angry and embarrassed. He lowered his head and didn't say anything else to Deng Wenchang. He was worried that if he continued chatting with Deng Wenchang, he would be so angry that he burst a blood vessel. He didn't believe that he, Li Daiyai, couldn't do something that Qiao Nan, a woman, could do. It was Deng Wenchang's problem that he admitted defeat. He would never be willing to be suppressed by a woman. Impossible? The more something was impossible, the more he wanted to try. When he succeeded in pulling Qiao Nan off this position and pulling himself up, he wanted to see if Deng Wenchang dared to say these words like he did today to agitate him. To put it bluntly, Deng Wenchang would suck up to whoever was the minister. He really didn't have any backbone at all. If he had known that Deng Wenchang was such a person, he wouldn't have formed an alliance with Deng Wenchang and lowered his identity and style in vain. Qiao Nan didn't know that her being late for half an hour as she was settling Ding Jiyi down had caused a small farce to happen between Deng Wenchang and Li Daiyai. Ding Jiyi and Qiao Zijin had come to the capital. Qiao Nan wasn't sure when Qiao Zijin would be leaving, or if she would be leaving, but at least, she told her father about Ding Jiyi. Dad, this was what happened. Mom is here. She also asked me about you. I gave her your cell phone number. What happens after that, you can decide on your own. She wasn't going to stop him. Qiao Dongliang's temples throbbed. Did they cause you trouble again? Haven't you been giving your mother 1,000 yuan of living allowance every month? Based on her character, she should have saved quite a bit over the years, right? Why did she have to come over to the capital if her life's good? Did she cause you trouble? His biggest mistake in this lifetime wasn't marrying Ding Ji. It was after marrying Ding Ji, he didn't realize what kind of person she was. Not to mention that Ding Ji had raised his 2 daughters up as such, but the older she got, the more foolish she became and the more trouble she caused. If he had known about Ding Ji's character when he was young, even if he didn't hit women, he would have used means to keep Ding Ji in check. Now that he was old, he didn't have the bad temper he had when he was younger. Otherwise, Ding Ji would only have to suffer. She wanted to stay in the capital, so I rented a house for her. The rest is the same as when she was in Pingcheng. She hasn't caused me trouble yet. I'm letting you know about this as I hope you'll have an idea about the situation. Okay. As long as she doesn't cause you any trouble, the rest isn't important. Especially the broken relationship he had with Ding Ji. They had already gotten a divorce. What more was there to talk about? Nan, if anything happens, remember to let me know. I'll help you. Even if they were already divorced, if Ding Ji went too overboard, he would have to help Nan. Ding Ji was Nan's mother. He was still Nan's father. With him around, Ding Ji didn't need to think about bullying Nan alone, like she used to. Okay. Xiao Nan didn't expect Xiao Dongliang to help her. However, she thought that it was good that he had the heart to. Oh, right, the house you helped your mother find is your own. Xiao Dongliang knew that after Elder Lin was gone, Xiao Nan obtained quite a number of things. These included many properties Elder Lin left behind for her. Xiao Dongliang didn't ask how many valuable things Xiao Nan had in her hands, but he could imagine that this amount of wealth was something that he couldn't earn even half of it in his 10 lifetimes. His daughter was rich. Xiao Dongliang was naturally happy for Xiao Nan. He could be truly at ease only if Xiao Nan led a good life.